Hey guys, this is Tracy. Today I'm going to show you how to ungroup and attach the free Have a Holly Jolly Christmas SVG from this week. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this. Let me move this over here so you see a little better. If you look on your layers panel over here, you can see that the word Jolly has only been grouped. It has not been attached. Whereas these down here, these have been attached or welded. So you could actually ungroup this and change the colors of these individual letters if you wanted to. Change the colors of this up here and the word down here if you wanted to. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and hit attach, and I am going to hide this. And I'm actually going to hide these little berries right here as well. We're going to focus on Santa. So let's bring our screen a little closer. First thing I want to do is I want to ungroup this. And I'm going to actually make a duplicate of this so I can show you what it looks like without having to move this design so it all stays together when I bring it back together. But I want to show you on Santa Claus here, his hands and his belt. You look over here, this has been welded together. His boots are individual. But I would go ahead and I would attach this for easier cutting. But I wanted to show you on Santa here, the back of Santa is just one piece. So I made these little notches in here by slicing out like the part of the hat and his gloves down here to be easier to lay your vinyl down as you're putting it in layers when you put it on your project. Sometimes when you have vinyl that have pieces that lay over top, you'll be able to see that seam underneath. And I was trying to prevent that. That's why Santa looks kind of goofy with his little notches out of here. But it also makes it easier when you go to put your project back together. Move this out of the way here. So you can see that this white, it has a little notch that it goes in right here. So you can actually line it up easier when you go to put it back together. Same thing with his face, his little things that are sliced out of there. And with the wreath, if you can see at the top up here, this has been notched out, and this little piece right here for the little fluff ball on his hat. So it makes it easier when you put your project back together. But I just wanted to show you that real quick before we got into slicing all this, and not slicing, but attaching it, putting it back together. Okay, so let's go back to Santa over here. I'm going to ungroup my wreath, if you look at your layers panel over here. And I'm going to ungroup the berries from, actually let's go ahead and attach this black part here, and we will hide that. I'm going to attach the, ungroup the berries from the holly leaf. I want to click on this first holly leaf, hold down my shift button, and grab the other ones here that are already grouped. And I want to attach that so that will all cut together. So it's easier to place it when you go to do your project. So you know that that's where they're supposed to be when you put your design on whatever it is that you're putting on. So let's hide that to get it out of the way. Little holly berries here. Let's hide that. And then your wreath, we can hide that. Let's focus on Santa here. So the white part, or actually it's a light gray on everything on Santa right here. You can obviously make it whatever color you want. Remember, whatever is on your screen, this is just for a visual purpose. The colors will be whatever vinyl colors it is that you put on your mat when you go to cut it. Unless you're printing it. If you're making a printable image, then what you see is what's going to print out, obviously, from your printer. So for this right here, this is all together. I'm just going to go ahead and attach this so that when I cut this, this will all cut together, and you'll see what I mean here. So now this is all going to cut together versus if it was not attached, when you go to make it, these are all over the place now. So you would have to place these individually with your vinyl. So that's why we attach before we make our projects. Okay. So let's go back to the white and let's hit attach. And hide that. And then we have Santa's beard right here, which is a different color as well. Just so you can see the difference when you put it together. This is just a little darker shade of gray than the rest of it. You could obviously do this part in white if you wanted to. And then Santa's beard obviously is a different color. Okay, so let's hide his beard. And this little piece right here, this is Santa's mouth. Now, depending on what you're putting this on, if you were doing a little ornament, you're cutting it out of vinyl, the mouth and the little dot on his nose may be very difficult to weed from your vinyl because it might cut kind of small. So just be very careful when you go to weed it. Or actually, you could omit the little dot on his nose if you wanted to. The buckle right here, This black part that you see, or actually a dark gray, is actually just a shadow that's right behind this buckle right here. So if I hide it, you really don't need it. If you don't want to cut it out, you don't have to. But I want to show you this. Let's ungroup this. And let's go ahead and delete that. And we'll touch the top button right here, the little buckle, hit your shift button, and grab the little buckles from his shoes and attach those. Okay. And let's ungroup his face. The little cheeks, I would go ahead and attach those so they cut together. And let's see, I think that's all we need to attach for this. So let's bring our pieces back now. We have to rearrange as they all come back. They're hidden. Might be in order. Let's see here. Bring this out a little. Okay. So now we have our project, our little holly berries right here. Let's send this to the back. The reason I did not attach this black with these letters up here, obviously if I'm going to change colors I wouldn't attach them anyway, but I did not attach them because if I were doing all this in black, I would lay the black wording down first, and then I would put my Santa in, I would put everything else on top of it. So this, again, this is totally up to you. If you feel comfortable with putting all your black together, you can, but because this is going to be laying on top of a color, that's why I did not attach it to the wording back here. Let's see, if we wanted to detach this, you could actually change your colors on all of this if you wanted to. You could ungroup it. I believe one of the mock-up photos I have on the blog for this week has this part up here red and this is green, or it might be the other way around, and then these are all individually different colors. So if you wanted to do that, you could just come through here and change your colors. Again, if you're cutting it on your mat, it's going to depend on whatever vinyl color you have there, but if you're going to print it, this is going to show on whatever you print. Okay, so same thing with your little holly leaves here and your berries. If you wanted to attach those, you could. The reason I did not attach those is because there's a whole lot of vinyl in between here. If you're going to attach these, all this vinyl that would be stuck in between, when you go to cut it, you would really just throw it away. So this would be easier just to cut them separately. Because it's not that hard to place them. You can actually stick them wherever you wanted to. But I hope that helps with this week's project. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. Come over to the Facebook group and ask or show off your projects. You know I love seeing them. You can find this week's free SVG on the website, on my blog. The design number is number 127. It's to have a Holly Jolly Christmas SVG. You can find that in the freebie library. And on the blog as well, I have the fonts listed that I use with the links to where you can find them. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day.